What happens when life hits you blow for blow and the storms seem never ending? Yet, instead of laying down and giving up, letting your storms consume you, you remain steadfast, finding the willpower, the strength you didn't know existed, and the courage to keep pushing forward. That is perseverance. How you respond to your circumstances is key. Welcome to the basics of perseverance. Good night, good evening, great people. I hope you had a wonderful weekend and happy Valentine's to you. This is a peace of mind, and welcome to the basics of perseverance, where their story may be your story, and they're coming to you raw and uncut. And today, my guest is Mrs. Quinntina Hill. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, Lyric. I'm doing pretty good. Thanks. How you doing?
I'm doing quite well. I can't complain. I can't complain. So, we're going to start it off like this, like I started everybody else off. For the people who do not know you, who are you as an individual?
Well, I'm many things. I'm an artist. I'm a creative. I'm I'm a liver of life. I love to have fun. I'm an adventurer. I'm a traveler. Um, I earn my money by teaching babies how to swim. Also as an artist as well, I sell my work. Um, I'm a spiritualist. I love exploring my spirituality and just seeking, higher knowledge and just striving for better, and just really trying to get in tune and in touch with this life and what we're out here supposed to be doing.
I
That's me.
like Okay, I like that. Now you said you are a certified lifeguard and you are a swim instructor. Now,
That's
do you teach all ages, including adults?
yes.
Okay.
I teach all the way from I can teach parents with their little small infant babies like six
Mhm.
months all the way up to adults. Yes.
Okay. Now y'all hear that for all y'all that can't swim out there, even the adults, it's okay. She's a certified trainer. So, when this is over or, an information section right down there, I'm going to put all her information in if you decide that you would like to take swim lessons or you would like your child to take swim lessons. But all her information will be down in the information box and she'll give it to you at the end as well. All right? Okay. So we're going to move on. You know, Life happens to us. We go through trials and tribulations. We get hit by curveballs. We get slapped down a couple of times, and life breaks us. So, when life happens to you and when life breaks you, how do you go about handling that? How do you come to your balance and keeping yourself balanced with situations or circumstances are thrown at you?
Um, that's something I had to learn how to do.
Okay.
Honestly, because growing up, um, those type of life skills weren't really taught me or given to me, or I didn't really have great examples. So it's something that I really struggled with. But as I got older, and I just wanted a more peaceful life. Like you said, balance. I was seeking that a lot. I started to learn different tools like meditation and and really not burying those feelings and those emotions and just seeing my way through those milestones, those obstacles that come, and trying to find the lesson in those moments, um, and really just being thankful. Gratitude is another tool that really keeps me grounded and balanced. Um, my ancestors, seeking their guidance and their protection and their love in this realm has really been beneficial to me as well when things seem to be coming apart at the seams. So that's pretty much how I'm not. It's falling apart. Sometimes falling apart is okay.
Okay, yes. And like you said, you mentioned something about gratitude. Acts of gratitude, being grateful for the things that you have, the place that you're at, and the places that you're trying to go through. Some people are not, they always complain about they don't have this, don't have this. Just be thankful for the stuff that you do have and work towards the things that you want, you know?
Right.
Okay. So we talk a little bit about that. Let's move a little bit further. I want to talk about friends. I'm gonna give you a couple of words, and then I want you to think about it, and then give me your feedback. Build upon that. You have friends: trust, loyalty, honesty, deceit, betrayal. Give me a combined brief on all those terms that are put together.
Um, relationships are complicated things. They're evolving. They're living things. They evolve. They grow. They die.
Yes,
You
definitely.
know, um, and all of those things that you mentioned will take it through those ups and downs as loyalty is tested, as you put trust in somebody. When you start to open up and share your purest parts of yourself, your most genuine parts, that might be in your darkest moments, your weakest moments, and really trusting that that person is going to honor you still, and not look at you any differently. um what else did you mention? Trust, betrayal. Those are hard things to deal with, and trying to even decide if after acts of betrayal or deceit have occurred in that relationship, are you going to make amends with that person? Are you going to
Mm-hmm.
let something that you just say, okay, this is it, that was enough for me, I see who you are, I don't want any parts of that.
Correct.
But as I get older, man, it's like I'm still trying to figure it out, like how to allow people to be a part of your life
Mm-hmm.
and share yourself with them in ways that allow you to be open and vulnerable, but still protecting yourself. It's hard to navigate that sometimes.
Okay, that's understandable. Yes, it is hard. Kind of gotta like observe people and see how they move. Kind of figure out what their intentions is with different conversation. So this brings me to this. You don't meet people by chance. It's no coincidence that people walk in and out of your life. That goes along with seasons. People. Seasons to everything. There's a season, and that includes people. Have you ever found yourself carrying a person or persons into another season with you, but they're just dead weight?
Oh yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah, big man. Recently, there was a friendship that I had been in for decades, and
Okay.
I kind of got to a point in it where I was like, I started to feel like the relationship was becoming a chore. Like I was trying too hard and everything. Like I was trying not to offend that person. I was trying not to argue with them, and it just didn't have that effortless appeal to it anymore, where we could just get together and hang out and
Yeah.
chum it up or whatever. And it was hard because after you've been friends with somebody for so long, you just kind of feel like they're a part of your life. Like
Yes.
it's just there unless somebody comes and chops it off or you get in some kind of crazy accident and you lose it. Like it's there. You expect to have it. Um, but sometimes you phase out and you grow, and those people don't grow, and
Mm-hmm.
they start coming and like wait, and you're like, you know what? I have to let go of those things, those people, those places, those ideas, whatever they might be, that are no longer serving me. I gotta let them go.
That's true.
And
It becomes toxic.
yes, definitely.
Becomes toxic. Okay. So since we moved there, you said you felt like it was a chore and everything. So let's go a little deeper than that. Forgiveness. Do you easily forgive? Because when a lot of people don't realize that when you forgive yourself and forgive people, you lift a heavy load. But I had one of my guests, and I used this my last episode because she was like, she's forgiving that person, but she don't know how she would act react if she saw that, if that person would have walked right past them. So do you find it hard to forgive, or how long does it take you a process? Is there a process that you have to go through to forgive somebody? Like, break that down for me.
I'm a Leo,
Okay.
so we are like forgiving to a fault. Like
Okay.
some people like tend to call us naive because
Mm.
we'll let a person drag us through the mud before we're like, okay, that's enough.
Ooh.
And so I've had to learn how to forgive people without always necessarily meaning that that meant that I had to forgive their behavior as well, is to the point where I allow myself to be exposed to that again. But I'm very forgiving. Um, I just don't feel like anything. There has to be something very major going on that you've done to me for me to feel like it's something that I have some begrudge moment that I got to carry with me all my life.
Okay.
Um, Given people in my life that have violated me in, ways that most people would be like, I don't even understand how you could speak to this person ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I look at a person's intentions and I try to empathize with them and understand that we're all humans on this journey. And you can't take most of these things personally because that person's just acting out parts of their journey as well. So you gotta give people room to grow.
Yeah. How much room do you give them to grow?
I mean, I'm giving you enough space to grow, and that doesn't necessarily mean that I need to occupy that space with you.
Okay.
I can give you that room and exit myself out of that equation, but I'm still going to give you that room to grow. And if that means coming back down the line 5, 10 years later, I'm not going to hold against you something that happened then. And I see you out and about. I'm not going to be like, oh no, I remember that thing. I'm not going to talk to you. I'm going to meet you where
Okay.
you
Okay. I like
are.
that. That's
Now, if
cool.
you feel that you haven't changed, I'm of course my antennas are gonna be up. I'm gonna be sensing you. I'm not gonna act like I've never, been wronged by you, but I'm not gonna hold it against you.
Okay, cool. That's what's up. I like that response. So let's talk about comfortability. A lot of times people are in their comfort zone. And I understand it from different aspects of being in the comfort zone. Comfort zone, as in, let's just say you work for 30 years and now you just want to relax and chill. You don't really want to do too much. You just want to chill because you don't work all them years, you don't raise your kids. And then you have the comfort zone where people just, I don't know if I could call it lazy, but people have more in them and they're not, how can I say it? They're not reaching their full potential that they know they can reach. So, have you ever found yourself being in your comfort zone when it comes to that? And at what point did you say, "Okay, Quinn, I gotta get off my butt. I gotta do something. I gotta push forward." You know what I'm saying? I'm stagnant. I don't see no growth. This, that, and the third. Have you ever had that problem with yourself
Uh,
or?
Not as a problem, just
Hmm.
simply because I don't like being stagnant.
Okay.
I like being uncomfortable because it keeps me not necessarily looking for more, but
Hmm.
seeking other things, and like you say, to express my full potential. Like, I just think about all of the different things that I've done in my life as far as like earning a living. Like, I went from, before I did this, what I do now, already never, first of all, I did not know how to swim 2 years ago.
Hmm.
I'm okay. Um, and before this, I was in IT, completely different field. But here I am now, loving what I do. I was very uncomfortable where I was. I thought that that meant studying that, more in that field and maybe trying to build my knowledge there. But it was a complete shift that was necessary to happen.
Yes.
Uh, I have, I was comfortable there for a while. I had gotten comfortable in a relationship and got comfortable with a lifestyle and a day to day and a routine. Sure. And then I got real uncomfortable. love it. But I tell you, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
First I went, then the relationship went. Listen, everything got very uncomfortable. And now, and I'm not complacent now, but I'm content.
Okay. You're content, but you're still pushing for more.
Certainly. I think that's important. I think if you're not growing, you're dying.
That's
Yeah.
true. That is a true statement. If you're not growing, then you die. What are you doing? 'Cause if you're not retired and you living a good life on a ship or traveling, yeah, then you pretty much not doing anything.
It just opens you up to explore
Mm-hmm.
the things that maybe hooking and joking on that 9 to 5 may have kept you from. Then, like, retirement doesn't necessarily mean inactivity.
Well, that's true. That is true.
Cause shoot, let me find myself retired out here, honey. Y'all gonna find me busy, okay? Very busy,
I,
getting
s-
to a whole stuff.
I think with the growth and keep looking and seeking opportunity, and when you're in an uncomfortable um zone, when you're uncomfortable wherever you are, you know, it also goes in like you're growing as an individual. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? For self personal reasons as well. Something, let's just say, you may have handled a situation 10, 15 years ago different than you handle it now, because
Right.
now you have that wisdom and that experience, and you know how to respond and how to, how to handle it, how to control it better. You know how you have, like, back in the days, kids just fire off real quick, but now you
Right.
gotta analyze and assess and be like, okay, if I do this, this may happen. You kind of you
Right.
kind of like weigh out your options.
Exactly.
So okay, cool. So we talked about dim your light. A lot of times people find themselves dimming their light, and I've had one person to tell me they were taught to dim their light, and when she broke it down for me, I understood what she mean by being taught to dim your light. Other people, it's kind of like you walk in a room and you have eyes on you and you kind of like shadow, kind of like, draw back a little bit, and it's understandable when you just don't want the attention, or you just a natural at it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, have you ever found yourself dimming your light? And if so, um, why? If you can possibly answer that question, how did you handle it? How did it make you feel?
Um, that's a deep question because there's so many layers to that. Because first of all, you even have to recognize that you have a light.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts there for me, just even knowing that I had a light. It took a long time in my life for me to even know that I had a light, recognize that it was being dimmed and dulled. Um, I was kind of raised by my grandmother, and she was very religious, and all my time was spent going to church and Bible study and choir and Sunday school conventions and Bible conventions and all these conventions and
You was
revival
kept busy.
at a church. Okay, so it was like I think in that particular when you approach life with that mindset, like you're a servant to God, you're not looking for no light. He is the light.
Mm-hmm.
Get the truth and the light, okay? And that's all you should be looking to. That's all you should be aspiring for. So after I kind of broke away from that ideology and and started kind of finding myself, then I started kind of finding that people couldn't even receive me. I was too bold for them. I was too this for them. I was too that for them. And it was just like, okay, that's a problem. People don't like that. And then I got to a point where I was like, you know what? I just don't care anymore. And I found that by just simply being myself, because that's all your light is just being you,
Mm-hmm.
fully you. living in your full expression of yourself. And then and of that, you will find your way, be it what you're supposed to be doing to make a living, your purpose, your path. That light will shine for you, and you can only find that by just being you. And it took me a long time, a long time to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad that I did. I'm certainly glad that I did.
That's awesome. I feel like if everybody be their authentic self, they will feel much better about themselves. I look and I observe a lot of people and I pay attention. Everybody want to follow the latest trends. Like what they say, you can't wear white in winter or something. What season they say you can't wear white?
No idea.
Well, I think it's winter, but whatever season it is, I wear white because it's like, how you gonna say you can't wear something? It's like these trends, fashion trends. Oh,
Who
who
made
guys, huh?
who made up these rules?
I have no idea, but I break all the rules. In that case, all the rules are broken when it comes to me because I don't believe in follow. Set your own trend. You don't have to look like everybody else. You don't have to wear the same stuff for everybody, and that's a big deal with the kids in school. And it's kind of good that they had to wear uniforms when they were in school, for the simple fact, some kids are not as fortunate as others, so they get picked on because of what they have to wear and stuff like that, and that's the mindset that is being set as a child, which shouldn't be like that.
Right.
So yeah, be your authentic self. Don't try to be nobody else because you can't be nobody else. You can only be the best version of yourself. Nobody else. No impersonating and all that foolery. You know?
That's right. But that was one thing about me. I certainly never was trying to be anybody else. That's for
Mm-hmm.
damn. But I wasn't really. I didn't think I was worthy enough to be.
Yeah. And it's kind of like things that you would say they were too afraid to say. Coming, they say you too bold, you too this, you too that. It's because they didn't have the courage or confidence to even do it. So since they didn't have the confidence or courage to do it, they felt like, okay, if I put her down, this, that, third, that make them feel good about themselves. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing I don't like. I don't like when people build others up and then they tear them down. Like, why did you build them up in the beginning? You should have just left them alone. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So when you got people, I tell people, if somebody is jealous of you, they envy you, or they always got something to say about you, they have a own issue going on with it themselves that they need to deal with. You know,
Right. Right.
it's crazy. I'm saying,
It is.
well, I'm very nonchalant, so I can care less. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm very
Uh, and not in everything, but in certain aspects of yourself, you dim that light,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
you kind of find out that. And that was one thing that I wanted to say that came to mind. That if I could just kind of go back to that for a second,
sure,
talk about dimming your light. It's like the things that people try to make you feel like are flaws are usually your assets.
mm-hmm.
Like if you got in trouble in school a lot for talking, then maybe that's your gift. You need to be doing something with that.
Supposed to be
If
a
you got
speaker.
right in some form, shape, or form. You know what I mean? You got a lot of energy. All of those things, the things that they try to make you feel like is a flaw. I
Yeah,
wanted to.
yeah. You are flawed, yet you are highly favored. That's it. Everybody got flaws, but everybody is still favored. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good point that you made, though. Very good point. So we're gonna go a little bit away, shy a little bit away, just a tad bit. What is something that you know now that you wish somebody would have told you when you were 20 years old?
Um, that I didn't have to live life the traditional way.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to aspire to live life like everybody else.
Okay, that was short and simple. I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was short and simple. I like that. No.
that's pretty much the main takeaway because there's so many other things that I like. I don't have a lot of regrets in life. I love my journey and the lessons that I've been given through my experiences, but I probably would have been able to avoid a lot of hassle and headache had I just gone my own path a lot sooner.
Okay. That makes sense. You was trying to pretty much follow, as one of my guests called it, a playbook that was handed down to you, but it just didn't work right.
Right.
Okay. That's good. You gotta find it's kinda like you gotta find your own way. Choose your destiny.
Right.
You can't choose your own destiny if somebody's trying to choose it for you or tell you how to go about on the destiny.
But I think most people suffer from that, though, Lyric. I
Mm-hmm.
think people think that they are aspiring for their hopes and their dreams but honestly I think we're kind of all given the same dream.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, get a good education so you can get a good job so you can buy a house and a car and go on vacations and travel, and it's like why is that the map?
Yeah. That's
Who's
indoctrination. Just like
right?
the
Because
educational
I
system.
that in order to get that.
Yeah.
And that's just something that I've learned in life. You look right now at social media and how people are able to become um, lucrative and valued just based on their status. It's crazy out
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, man. And I ain't mad at nobody for making their money, man. Do what you got
Mm-hmm.
to do. But it just goes to show you that there's nothing wrong with you know doing it your way.
Yeah, that a lot of people spend time. You, you you have to spend a time unlearning the stuff that you had learned because a lot of that stuff, like you said, it's not for you. It's not going according to, you know, to your
Right.
plan, your purposes, your dreams. I
Right.
think my pastor said, you can like what somebody doing, but their dream is not your dream.
Right.
Their dream is not destined for you. You know what I'm saying? Your
Right.
calling. So, okay. So, you know, we're going to take a quick break, pay a couple of bills, and we'll be right back to you.
Hi, I'm Lakita Logan Range, the creative director of Live and Lavish Events, where we specialize in creating unforgettable special events and weddings for you and your guests. Live and Lavish Events is a full-service wedding, event management, and decor company. From concept to execution, we will make sure that your event runs smoothly and it is absolutely flawless. So for your next event, remember, Live and Lavish Events, your key ingredient to having a spectacular event.
All right. Welcome back. And today's guest with me is Miss Quinntina Hill. If you missed the first half of this conversation, you can always scroll back to the beginning because it is pre-recorded. All right. Okay. Cool. All right. So let's pick up where we left off at. Let's talk about living in the past. A lot of times people live in the past because they reminiscence on their glory days, things that they did. Other times people live in the past and it prevents them from moving forward for some reason. They always bring it up, well, this happened, so this is why I'm unable to do this right now. It's kind of like there's always an excuse for the past. There's always to bring up an excuse for the past cause A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And I don't necessarily say people have to forget their past, but it's kind of like, okay, when are you gonna let go of the past so you can continue on your journey and move forward? Give me your
Right.
thoughts on that.
I think it's just like you stated, like on a conscious level, I think we all have worked through different things in our lives that we may have been carrying on. Um, but it's so many different things that you can apply that to. I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of things that are hardest for most people to let go of are like past traumas, like childhood. Um, and if you want to bring that on the other side of the spectrum, maybe you were somebody that grew up with a silver spoon in your mouth, and you were well to do, your parents took care of everything from you, and then now all of a sudden now you got to fend for yourself, and you kind of having to deal with that. But definitely, the past is something that can be used as a tool for learning
Mm-hmm.
from your mistakes, or it can really have a grip on you, and I think our past affects us mostly on a very subconscious level, honestly. Like, I don't think that a lot of us realize how, like, even the thing, our goals, our aspirations, the things that we aspire to are all based on like our past, our rearing, our upbringing, our experiences. Um, and so I think a lot of us are operating on the past without even realizing. There's
Okay.
so but how you feel about money, um, what kind of family you want, that kind of lifestyle. Maybe you don't want kids, but maybe you're somebody that grew up as an older sibling and you always spent your whole life, taking care of your brothers and sisters, but you didn't realize that that's what developed that thing in you that makes you say now, I don't want any children in my adult life. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so past is a very tricky beast, if you ask me.
Okay. That makes sense. It does make sense. You had to help out and watch your siblings growing up, so now you don't have a need for wanting kids because you've been raising kids your whole life. That actually makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And it does happen a lot because you have the single parents that has to work two jobs, sometimes three jobs, and they work at night. So the oldest is always left there
Right.
to watch the kids. So that is understandable and that makes sense. What you said it gives you another angle to look at it. You know.
Yeah.
Okay. That,
It's all
that's
about out here, man.
yeah. Okay. 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 So I'm gonna give you this statement. I'm trying to think if I want to give you the statement first, or I had a what I want to know before we do the closing statement. We're gonna go a little left. We're gonna go a little, just a tad bit politics, just a tad bit, just a tad bit, because I
Or
know we can go all day on this. You know what I'm
maybe
saying?
I'm not much on politics, but we'll see what we got.
Well,
Go.
well, I wouldn't say it's political. In a sense, it is, but in a sense, it's not. Um, it came out that the officer that was responsible for the late George Floyd's death, right? He wanted to go into a plea deal, and from my understanding, the judge said no, it was too early. And then of course, you have Fox News and all these white nationalists just saying that how is it that he killed him. They said it was a drug overdose. There's no evidence. All this foolery. So he wanted to do a plea deal. The judge said no, it was too early. Because in his mind, he knew he was only going to do 10 years, and he may get out early on good behavior. Now, during that entire time, you remember the Black Lives Matters movement, the protesting and everything.
Mhm.
Now, you know, Trump and his people, they use that as a political campaign. Remember, he said he's the president of law and order. So the guy could have been arrested sooner, but they wanted the protesting to keep going on, so he can show that he's the president of law and order. And now that they're doing this impeachment trial on him, the second impeachment trial, they're using all of that. They're using all of that. They're bringing it all up into evidence and breaking it down. How do you feel? What are your thoughts on that? I ain't gonna say how do you feel, because I kind of have a feeling how you feel. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you brought up a lot of different things, but if your question, can you give me your question directly, and then I'll give you my thoughts.
Okay, so yeah, I did throw a whole bunch of elements within that one statement. So being that the officer wanted to accept the plea deal, the judge denied it. I'm not sure if he's still arrested or he got out on bond. I think he may have got out on bond. I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up. But how do you feel about that, with any of our people that has been brutally murdered at the hands of officers? They're not being immediately prosecuted. They're taking their time with it. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm going to tell you like this right here, Lyric.
Yeah. I gotta let me take a sip before you give me the answer, cause
I'm gonna take a sip too before I give my answer to that too. First and foremost, let us address the simple fact that the judicial system has never been a mechanism designed to operate for any type of justice for us.
Correct.
I'm gonna start right there, okay? Once I come from that perspective, then it kind of just puts everything else into perspective, because once you realize that laws were never written necessarily to hold, especially law enforcement. Let's talk about law enforcement, okay? Law enforcement was designed and created during an era when they were trying to police the Black man, keep their property intact on their land. And then once we moved to an era where we were free and no longer property, then laws were created to get us back to that free labor, okay? Now you've got your penal system, okay? You've got all of that. So when you want to talk about holding law enforcement accountable, I'm going to laugh, okay? This is all a charade. It's all a farce. It's during a political climate where it is important to be on the right side of history. And I don't trust none of them.
That's true. I don't think none of the melanated people that look like me and you, maybe none of the Hispanics or what have you, because they too close to us, don't trust the police department. Don't trust really. They say all of them are not bad. Yes, all of them are not bad, but that one or two bad apple will make it bad for everybody.
We're not talking about people. We're talking about the system.
Yeah, the system. Well, the system.
And you're talking about a system holding, their counterparts responsible. Like, that was their job in the first place.
Yeah, it comes from the top. It started at the top.
Right.
Yeah, it started at the top.
It's all political.
Yeah.
all of it is political. You cannot get into one faction without it bleeding into the others. And so, if you want to just, my thoughts on it is just generically speaking, it's like, do I want to feel outraged, and do I want to, feel like, this is wrong, or this is unjust? I just feel like it is, because it always has been.
Correct. Okay.
It's just usual for the people.
For real. And I feel like with this pandemic, the pandemic set a platform to expose America of its racism that they've been trying to cover up for years, centuries, decades, however you want to say it. And I also think it woke up some of our melanated people to really see and kind of like try to change their mindset, the perspective on how they see things now. You
Yeah.
know, I think it was a real eye opener. They see that now. They really see that this country don't really care about us. You think about when a lot of people lost their jobs, a lot of people
Right.
became homeless.
Right.
A lot of people even struggle to put food on their table for their kids. So I
Still are.
think I think it was a big eye opener. On the flip side, I could say that a lot of our people started businesses. I can say that I have seen a lot of our people start businesses and doing pretty good. But yeah, it was an eye opener for them.
Yes.
And
I
I go ahead.
think the pandemic was useful in just kind of bringing everybody to a moment of just like self-reflection, and just you had to dig deep and really find what was going to keep you going.
Yeah, and it also made you, like you said, self reflect, but it also made people sit down with their families because everyday life people are on the go. They at work. They don't eat dinner together at the table. You got the kids in the room. Dad may be over here, mom may be over here, or mom may be working. The kids eating dinner by themselves. So it actually also brought families together and put
Oh
them
yeah.
in more communication, have more conversations. You
Right.
know, it
Because
also
now
did that.
evolve around the home
Hmm.
space completely and totally, because little Jimmy and John now, they need their space respected too for school.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this has been interesting.
Hmm. It's it has been interesting. My mom's an educator, so I listen to some of the stories. She tell me some of the things that happens on the job, and it's like, wow, like COVID really brings out and shows who the sheets are too. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? In the school systems as well. So it really has been interesting. I know they're trying to force all the kids to go back to school, which is a little too soon until they have everybody tested. Make sure everything set up appropriately.
Are they little guinea pig vaccines too?
Yeah, I've heard that. Now that's another thing with the vaccine. I've heard professional doctors, some of our people too, that are professional doctors that have taken it. It's one doctor, I forget her name, but I did catch her on Rolling. I watched Rolling. Um, and she was saying, before she took the vaccine, she did a test on herself, her blood work. And after she took the vaccine, she made sure that, she did another blood test to make sure like it wasn't injecting the virus itself, COVID itself. And, she did her studies and stuff. So, I think also, from my perspective, it may be good for some people. It may not be good for others. They're telling people to check with their healthcare provider. You
Yeah.
know, some of the information that's out there on these particular vaccines is also talking about if you have certain underlying conditions, you don't need to take it. So it's also, I still think it's in its trial stages, because it's like, yes, I know we come a long way in technology, but when it
Medicine
comes,
is,
yeah, when it comes to something real critical like this, you really can't rush the process.
yeah, I'm not anybody's guinea pig.
Yeah, I think with our people, it's that we our people have been misled for so many years, um that it's really hard to for them to grasp the concept and listen to them.
It's in our DNA to mistrust those people.
Yeah, you can say white people, it's okay.
No, just white people. I'm not
It's all people, and I just flag.
this about human out here, honey. I ain't talking
Yeah,
about
it's
racism.
yeah,
I mean, culturally speaking,
yeah,
we have been,
yeah,
on the end of it, receiving it where it was like misinformation,
yeah,
but our own people were used
yeah.
against in those fields. So it's all of them.
Yeah, they have we have had people betray their own people just for a dollar or two, you know.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah, that's in everyday life. I think if our people, you know, it's it's sad to say, if we can stick together more in our community, we can achieve a lot more together. As you can see with the voting in Atlanta with Stacey Abrams, Roland Martin, how they were down in Atlanta campaign, making sure everybody was registered to vote. That togetherness right there showed was that remind me of when Martin Luther King did the Montgomery Boys boycott.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Stacey Abrams, them, Roland Martin, and all of them organizations that campaigned in Atlanta, in those smaller cities that no one ever touched or reached out to. That's what that reminded me of, because they all came together as a collective.
Right.
And we could all come together as a collective in every state all across the US. Like, man, oh man. You know what I'm saying? It'll be remarkable. It'll be awesome. All right, yeah, I know. I did go off kind of topic a little bit, but I just had to hear you. I just had to hear. We had to just chop it up a little bit on that little information, because I was really interested in what you had to say, and it was like I expected. It was something intellectual and different. A different perspective, seeing something different, hearing something different. And also giving the people a little history lesson. Something like that.
Certainly, yeah. I've been learning more and more myself, and I continue to learn the truth, because our history has never been taught to us, and the history that they did teach us didn't tell us the truth.
Right. They try to make us forget our history, but they don't forget the Jewish history. Not at all.
The history of this country.
Yeah.
Even stuff has been falsified. Like half the stuff that went down between slavery and now, we didn't know half of that stuff was going on.
They were the only thing, like, I know my history teacher, she taught us history. Forget all that surface stuff. They want to teach you Rosa Parks. They want to teach you Martin Luther King, but they don't want to teach you about who built the United States, who made certain inventions. They don't want to do that. They don't want to give the kids the real information. So when I talk to young youth that look like me and you, I tell them, I say, you need to learn your history. What they teaching you is not history.
Right.
Teach your kids. If you still walking around here and your child believe that Christopher Columbus discovered America, shame on you, because America was never lost. America was never lost. Okay.
Define stuff, don't they?
Right. But yeah. Oh, and you know who also explains that I like watching his series, She's Gotta Have It, Spike Lee. Okay. If you go watch season 1 and 2 on Netflix, I love the way Spike Lee embeds history.
Yeah.
in all his movies and all his series. So when you get a chance, go check out She's Gotta Have It, season 1 and season 2. Yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
All right.
But yeah,
Watched it.
let me get back on topic though.
Okay. All right.
So we have Kim. I can't even get it right.
Oh.
All right. So now we're come to our closing. You know, what we go through is always temporary. And regardless of the situations and circumstances that we go through, it's not saying that that is the person that we are. However, it is making us into the person that we need to become. Let's go.
Oh, certainly. I think just about everything that we talked about today lends to the truth of that. You know, the relationships that you have, the ones that you lose, seasons that you go through. You know, your experience that shape and mold you um, into who you are. You know, and if you are paying any attention at all, then you will start to understand why you're going through some of the things. And unfortunately, Leo, hard headed as we are, we just as stubborn, beautiful in our fixedness, you know. But the thing that you start to learn is if you continue to have the same experiences and you're sitting around, I'm always going through all the same thing over and over. Yeah, you know, that's a sign, that's a signal that that's something that you need to pay attention to, and it's something you need to do differently. Um, and I just think it's important for us to pay attention when we're going through struggle. Why are we struggling? Why are we suffering? Why are we uncomfortable? There's a message there. It's not always about suffering. It's not always about being down. Sometimes it's just about growth, you know, diamonds under pressure and all that jazz.
Okay. All right. We done? I thought you was about to you diamond under the grass. I thought you was about to
You know, roses out of concrete. You know, I mean, I could go on and on, but
Okay.
um, I just think that who we are, who we become is how we have chosen to deal with our experiences.
Okay, cool.
How we've allowed them to mold us and shape us.
All
Some people,
right.
you know, become bitter about their life experiences and cease to keep seeking joy. I think that's something that's important, is that we can't forget to keep seeking joy even in those moments where it seems like there's none to be found. Um, just even just a little bit, a moment. If it's a butterfly, or, you know, it's raining, you get a piece of the rainbow at the end of all of that, whatever. Just gotta find that moment.
Okay, cool. Well summed up. All right, you guys, that concludes our episode today. Thank you, Quinn, for being on this evening.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having
Now,
me.
now, if they want swimming lessons,
Okay.
how can they contact you?
Well, as right now, the way my life is set up, I am a highly in demand individual. So you will have to come see me at the facility. I'm not available for any freelance private work right now, but you can come see me at the facility at Aquachamps. We are located in Oakland Park. You can go online, you can give us a call. You can visit us on aquachamps.com. And if you want to give us a call, our number is 954-561-4844. And either myself or anyone there will be able to assist you with getting information about lessons for your children, yourself. We offer summer camps, all kinds of fun stuff. It's a cool
All,
place to work.
All right, you guys. So again, her information will be in the information box. This is the basics of perseverance, where how you handle your situation or circumstances is key. Until next time, this is a peace of mind, peace and blessings.